Right.
Another one.
Right, you slags. Right, so
Pause.
episode 5.
Is it?
It's either we don't know yet. It's either episode 4 or 5. We're not entirely sure because we might have lost an episode.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this and this is episode 5, then just ignore what we're saying now. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty. One of the hard drives corrupting. But anyway, and then another technical problem is the amount of times we said, "Oh, we're doing so-and-so podcast. No, we're doing this one. No, we're doing that one." We have actually decided on a name now. We couldn't have the other one because it was already taken. But you would have already guessed that by now. We are the Changes podcast. Because, no, I'm not singing.
Wow, yeah, do
No.
not. Because the fucking topic changes like crazy and all of your lives change like crazy.
Because we are riddled with the
What the fuck?
ADHD. ADHD.
Okay, now we've got past that and no one gives a fuck about what number we're on. Yeah, boy.
Maybe they do. Some people are maybe
Maybe
waiting.
we've got people that like us.
Well, some people just really like counting, and they're like, until you say on the episode of what number it is, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
No chance. You can fuck off. It's not happening. That's the only thing. You can say all you want, and the rest of it, I don't care. You can slag my mum off, but until you say that number, I'm not listening.
It'll be my grandma was like, "What number is it?"
We'll forget in about 20 seconds anyway, because
Yeah. Well, welcome to another chat, another shit show on the Changes podcast. But yeah, shit does change. Mentality, thoughts, your body, life, people
what we're
go.
actually talking about tonight, because that's not what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, where are we going with this tonight?
So
We are. Go on, take it.
Well, tonight's going to be. It's better late than never. Probably could have done with doing this in the first place, but today is going to be a bit of an introduction to who we are, how we know each other, what sort of memories we've got with each other, what we do, what we wanted to do, all that sort of funky stuff. So you're going to hear all sorts of bollocks today.
Yeah, if anyone's going to start anywhere, it may as well just be this one. All the others just practice, mate. It's all practice. So, yeah, man, plenty's changed for us. We met, what, 18, 19? Something
No,
like
it was
that.
older than that. It was like 2021.
Sheesh. Man, I've got like one friend from school still, like secondary school. No friends from primary. That's how much shit changes, man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of friends with some people from school, but also it's just like as you get older, you have distant friendships where you don't talk for ages, but then when you do talk, it's like you spoke to them last week.
Yeah, they're the gems, innit? Shout out to you lot. But
Yeah. Well, everyone's doing their own stuff. I mean, you can't stay in contact every day. It's hard to sit back. You know, I was actually having a chat with our friend Owen the other day about how reminiscing on how we all used to be to now. It's kind of like scary, lonely, and just like I don't know. You would have been told by your parents when you were younger that enjoy it while it lasts, because you know, enjoy the present, if anything.
it's a bit dark, really, isn't it? Enjoy it whilst it lasts.
Yeah, you're gonna die.
All your friends are going to leave you.
Yeah, nobody loves you. Fuck off. Yeah, it's just it. I think because I was recently with our other friend that came up from Stevenage to visit his parents, and I popped over, and we were just start talking about sort of the nights out, because we originally were a group of about 5 or 6 people. We always used to go out and nights out in Leeds.
Yeah, nothing alike as well. Like
No, we're all
a very
comedy
unique friendship. Really.
Yeah, literally like the in-betweeners. And we were talking about nights out, and then I didn't say anything, but I was sat there and I was just kind of thinking about it, and I was just like, oh, yeah, like I'm not massively into that lifestyle anymore, but it'd be kind of nice to revisit it sometime, which I'm sure we will. You know,
yeah.
People are getting engaged, marriages are going to happen, stag do's are going to happen, and I'm excited for that. That'd be interesting. There's going to be some dirt coming up on them,
Yeah.
especially if one of us has to do a best man speech.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that shit. That'll just be horrifying.
But yeah, it's
Especially me. I've got some shit in the closet, bro. I've got some shit in the closet. I don't know whether to, because I've done so much, guys, and so much has changed. I'm very precarious with what I might say. Like, I'm in a relationship now. I'm very healthy, open, all that. So I do need to choose my words wisely. But I do want to share a hell of a lot for, just people, everyone, anyone.
yeah, maybe it takes a bit of a discussion with the boss.
Maybe.
Just let you know.
Just don't listen to it, babe. Just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
listen
don't
to
listen
it.
to that one.
It's just a joke. It's a
shit.
joke.
It's shit. It's not a good one. And then they'll see it on TikTok later down in a
Yeah,
couple of
yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
That it's hitting 1 million views. It turns out you chose sex. No, let's not do that.
Yeah. But that's what we're going to get to. So, 21, 20, something like that. We met up. Shit was hectic.
Unbelievably hectic.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite... I'd gone through my huge hectic slice of a life. Then again, it kind of just went in even more hectic, I'd say, probably. Nights out.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was two complete opposite ends of the spectrum where it went from, you know, what happened to just fucking going out on the lash every weekend.
Yeah.
As 21-year-olds do.
Good shit. Good time.
It was good. It was so funny. Nothing springs to mind right now, annoyingly, but there were so many good nights out. Like when you threw a packet of salmon at the side of someone's house and it was stuck there for about 2 years.
Fish is kind of my thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
it
put
is,
fish
yeah.
in your fucking car for 3 days.
Still need to get you back for that at Leeds Fest.
Leeds Fest, summertime, like 30-degree heat. You didn't even see me do it. All the car doors were open. You were there.
I
Everyone
was
was
at the
there.
back of the car though, I think,
Yeah,
unloading.
everyone was there. I got a fish, a whole fish from Morrison's, kept it in my car, like with a little ice bag and everything, and when no one was looking, slit it open, kept it in the bag, chucked it under his seat. 3 days later from Leeds Fest, we go back to his car just to check it, get some food.
No, it wasn't even that. So I'd gone back to the car to get some water, and I was like, fucking hell, the plastic on this shit stinks, because sometimes plastic does stink. And I opened it, I just didn't question it. Why would I think somebody's put a fish in my car? And then a couple of days later, when we finally left Leeds Fest, I gave a girl a lift home that I was trying to pull at the time.
Wait, you didn't find the fish?
No. So it was still in the fucking car. And I drove back, and I was just like, I don't know why my car smells like
Did
this.
she find the fish?
No, I think I found it in the end.
What the fuck?
But I was just like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why my car smells like this. It never usually smells like this. It just smelt like dick cheese.
I've just had so many birds in this car, you know, the stench just comes back.
Mate, that's rancid. That is rancid. But yeah, yeah. Still need to get you back for that one.
Well,
I don't really want to put a fish in your Evo, to be honest. That would be a bit too far. But yeah, that's
there's some funny harmless ones. There's some funny harmless ones, isn't there?
any that springs to your mind.
Not as of yet.
No, I'm trying to think. There's so much to think about.
Of course there is, but we've skipped it. We've just gone straight to a funny thing. But like, who are we? Where we come from? Where we're from? Why do we deserve to be having these chats? Like, well, why do we deserve? Anyone deserves to be doing this. You don't need a certain IQ
jumping
level.
into imposter syndrome already?
Maybe, yeah.
Why do we deserve to be? Why do you think you deserve to be here? Go on, get it. And he's gone. So from now on, I'll be solo hosting.
But yeah. Hi, my name's Nicole.
Oh God.
Nah, for real though, Harry, Colby. I'm 26. Colby's.
Literally 8 days younger than you.
There you go. Had to correct me, but
No, just giving a bit of context, really.
yeah. So
Unnecessary context, maybe, but just got to let people know.
yeah, been through our shit, been through our traumas,
Yeah,
had our problems.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
As everyone does, everyone's got a story, but I think this day and age, everyone's understanding it's just pretty dumbass people at the top that have got all the money, and people just scamming and crappy stuff. So why don't we put some better stuff out there? Have some chats, have some talks on changes.
Yeah.
Because every kid's going to go through it. Everyone's going to struggle, and less people are changing. It's easier to just keep your head in the fucking sand.
Yeah, not enough people are. I think it needs to be normalised, because a lot of the time with what you've been through in the past, people themselves allow it to define them, but also other people then define them by what they've been through. And realistically, regardless of what you've been through, you have two choices to make. You can either let it consume you, or you can let it become the better of you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the message that we want to push, is like, just we ourselves individually have been through hell and back in our own ways. Not as much as some, but more than most. But it doesn't change the severity.
It comes down to expectation of that person too. Everyone's got their own hell. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it's, you know, regardless of what it is, like it's subjective to the individual. Just because we've been through what we've been through, we don't think it's any worse or any better than what anyone else has been through. It's still, you know, subjective to the individual.
Exactly.
And the message we want to push is, okay, you've been through hell. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Let's rather than allowing it to consume you and just being overtaken by drugs, alcohol, negative habits, let it drive you into becoming a better person, a more self-aware person, more self-aware I can't fucking talk today. More self-aware person, as opposed to the opposite.
You got there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, the darker the shadow, the brighter the light. But it's all in learning, because life is an ongoing learning. We've had all these conversations. We put the quotes in, have good chats. But that is why we're here. That's why I want to do this. Actually bring some normalcy to better conversations and growing conversation, changing conversations. So here we are, two white boys in a
You
shed.
love mentioning that we're white boys. I think that's quite clear that we are white.
Well, imposter syndrome, I guess, isn't it? Fuck knows. I don't know. It's just describing.
You've got brown hair, I've got brown hair, I've got beard, you can't grow one.
Nearly, mate. Nearly.
You got your goatee still.
No. Little tash today, mate. Little tash today.
Pedo tash. I tried doing that once. I haven't got the chin for it. If you know, like the proper Chad face. If you want just a mustache on its own, you need that big massive chin. I do not have the big massive chin.
Well,
that's why I grow a beard, to make it look bigger.
Well, it is.
If only that applied to other things.
And we all look how we look. It is what it is. But yes, in a roundabout way, this is who we are while we're doing this. So hopefully we can give our stories and give our changes. Because I said that before in another show, on the other podcast we did.
On the other shows.
Yeah, I know.
As though you're on many different podcasts.
Feels like it.
I'm a celebrity. know who I am.
You completely derailed me on that one. Anyway, so what changes and bigger stories have we had? I've got one that I mentioned in a previous episode about facing my fear, because I was hospital, discharged at 16, questioned my own body, validity, who I was, how I worked, whether I could be loved, yada 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 yada. Found out I could be loved, but it was in the very awkward sexual side of shit, where it was like, well, what's going on here? What should I be doing? Because I was scared, like, could I be accepted? One person accepted me. Can anyone else? Am I normal? Is this an exception? So I went balls to the wall on testing my limits with people, finding out why those people did what they did, whether it was Need to be steady here, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just wondering how far you're going with these stories. I mean, you go with how far you're comfortable with.
I faced my fears. I met a lot of lovely people. It was a good day.
That's some interesting encounters.
No, but I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know.
I'll have a chat with someone before I go into all that stuff.
The boss.
Yeah, the dragon.
I mean, you keep mentioning the hospital thing.
Well, it's character defining.
No. I'm not in the. I understand why you mentioned it.
Yeah.
But there's not a lot of context around that. Are you comfortable giving more information about that yet? Or
yeah, fuck it. Why the hell not? I was going to do it on mine, the Harry the Human thing, but I could use it in both areas, really.
Yeah,
so I got fucked, man. I got sliced and diced open as soon as I was born. I had like a heavy abnormality. It affects 1 in 100 men. But my problem, usually, operation, that happens, boom, you sound, shit hurts for a bit, go on your way. But mine was, nah, mate, 16 years later, you get discharged. So it could be 1 in 100,000. I don't know. But I had viruses, diseases, problems, issues, public problems, like so many things, like so many operations, saw so many people, like, I was in my mental prison for like 16 years ongoingly, like everyone's in their head. So it's very deep to me to have understanding of how the brain works, why people are the way they are. It's taken me so long to be able to get to this point, to be able to put myself out there and talk about things, because that sucked. And like, I might work with people that might be a bit racist, whatever, but the guy opposite me, I was playing on my PlayStation 2, like 6 years old or whatever, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, you know what I mean?
Banger of a game.
Yeah, man. And this other lad from Eastern Europe, wherever the hell, I don't know, whatever. And his parents came in, and he had bandages on all of his feet. Like, his feet was absolutely covered. Long story short, he fell backwards with the lawnmower, and he was only a young child.
Oh shit.
So that sucked, but I gave him like my PlayStation. So I've got Cartoon Network on my TV that I can just move down in front of the bed. Don't worry about it. I play my games and just help bare people. So my empathy for human race did truly come about as a young person, and a lot more character-defining stories, putting myself out there, have just steamrolled and barreled onto me with meeting so many people. So yeah, I'm going to sit down here and have these chats with you, whether it's a bit of brain rot or it's insightful, intellectual quotes and comments. You know what I mean? Like, the information's out there, loads of people are struggling, let's get to the shit of it. You know what I mean? And currently, I've been in construction for 10 years, highest rate of suicides. I've been up and down the country, I've sat in people's houses overnight doing the sessions, been in millionaires' homes talking to them, going through their 20 Ferrari car collections, the LaFerrari. You know, look at Paul Bailey, been at his house, like, it's beautiful bloke, like, he had been poor. Everyone's got a story, and it's the changes along their story that I want to highlight massively. So, I've listened to the best and the worst of men, so maybe you should listen to the best and the worst of men and us too. That's my part anyway, mate. I might have had that on my chest for a bit, but
It's good that you got it out there.
just mental, like the back-to-back problems that came from it. Like, I'd be stood in a Catholic children's school, primary school, whatever, and like, you're singing your hymns, and then some, like, a problem occurs and you're there, I'm white as a ghost, head teacher has to pull me out. Or my alright, here's a nice one. Here's a personal one that I'll share. It was, I could not actually pass urine one day, and when your bladder fills up, the only place it goes to next is your kidneys. And a lot of people go through it, like, what was it? Is it kidney stones? Where you piss them out?
Yeah.
That is, oh mate, that is painful as fuck. You look at those under a magnifying glass, my God, it's just drip, drip, drip. But I had my granddad rush me to the hospital because my kidneys were halfway over flooded and just like they were shutting down. So if both shut down, you're fucked. But that's just like, stab him, bam, like, no, yeah, just bite on that, mate.
A doctor, I'm guessing. Hopefully not your granddad.
Yeah, my granddad took me.
Let it out!
But yeah, scary times. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, there's been so many things go on. Like, there's so many other stories, but
Yeah, I mean, which goes on to help people, especially myself, understand why you have such a nonchalant. I don't want to say nonchalant, because I think that massively I don't know. I don't think we'll use nonchalant for now. But you have a very nonchalant attitude to life because you face these problems at a very young age. So anything now, anything above what you've been through, even if it's slightly, it's fuck all to you because you've been through that problem. You've faced, almost death at some points in your life, and it's just kind of giving you this. It's like, it's fine, you're gonna get through it. It doesn't matter. And I've always, anytime I've come to you with anything in the past, I get so fucking annoyed. But I also now understand it because I can understand your story where it's like you're not gonna die. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Yeah. You can get through this. It does. And I think that is a very powerful thing. Unfortunately, it does just come from such a traumatic story. Yeah,
I've been better these days, going through, learning way more. I'm being more there for people. I was great at listening, but at the end of it, you're gonna get, you're all right, mate. You're all right. Yeah, don't worry, mate. You're all right. You're all right.
Yeah,
all that shit. But yeah, mate, the stories out and about the world as well are crazy heavy. I was sitting in some guy's house like through the night, like working away or whatever, and it's just random dude, like, you know how it goes, people like end up at their house and then next thing you know it's 4 a.m, he's crying about how he hasn't got his kids and his wife died. Jesus Christ, I work on site and the forklift driver's wife just dies.
I remember you telling me.
I worked on site and the site manager just dies. People just go.
Yeah.
So I have learnt to be here now. I had to be forced to be present with my feelings as a child, because your parents, they're not going to be that great at regulating their emotions. Fortunately, my mum was literally an angel, a God-sent angel. God damn, without her I wouldn't be here. But yeah, we'll pick through more. But yeah, go on. What's your side, man? What's changed? Like, I've had my changes. What's your changes? Why are you sat in front of me as a good mate having these chats?
It's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, it's a bit loaded. Sorry, mate.
I don't know how to. It's so hard because there's so much.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
essentially,
there is so much.
I literally don't know where to start. I can't think of like how to.
Well, I only gave like 1, 2, just character changing, just ones that stuck out. Maybe there could have been a time like you might have had to look after the house, or it was just an over.
I was thinking about that. So let's start from when I was 8 years old. So basically, I'm originally from Sheffield. I was born in Sheffield, and then I think at the age of about 4 or 5, maybe a bit later, my parents got divorced after a horrendous amount of shouting constantly. We then moved slowly down south. We moved to a village went from Sheffield to Worksop. My parents were still together at that point, and then Worksop to Shirex, which is a village near Worksop. That was after my parents split. And then my mum met my brother's dad. We then moved to Grantham when I was about 8 or 9, and then my mum and my brother's dad split. I've got two younger brothers. One I've got the same dad, one I haven't got the same dad, the youngest one. My parents split, and I essentially at 8 or 9 years old pretty much did have to become the man of the house, because there was nobody. I'm a part of a very problematic family, not just immediate family, but the entire family itself. It's always been so fucking toxic. There's no element of family there. It's just blood relatives. There's no compassion within the family whatsoever. So we essentially had no one to turn to. Mum went through countless amounts of abusive relationships, domestic violence, alcoholics, people that cheat, people that beat, people that have fucking wives 100 miles away, all sorts. So while my mum was dealing with that, and also dealing with my middle brother, because he was just an absolute fucking nutcase, never really truly understood what was wrong with him, but he just lashed out all the time at my mum, at me, at my brother. So whenever my mum was always busy dealing with any of that sort of shit, and I, as the oldest child, had to step up at 8 or 9 years old and become the man of the house, which in some respects I don't wish that didn't happen, because it's taught me a lot in life, and it gave me this, and I've described it before as this alpha male mentality, because I had to become a leader at a very young age. I had to either look after my youngest brother while my mum was dealing with her situations, or look after the two of my brothers while my mum was dealing with the violent situations. But at the same time, it also completely ripped my childhood apart.
That's the hardest part.
Yeah, I lost so much time.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to be a child, and I'm sure a lot of people that are the oldest child can relate to this. Is like, you always get told you should be setting an example to your siblings. This sort of bollocks, and it puts an unholy amount of pressure on you.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
You don't have that time to be a child. I didn't ask to be born first. Like, as stupid as that sounds, I still needed to be a child. I needed to go out and have fun, which is it led for me to become a very angry individual, because I never learned to be vulnerable with anyone. Because I wasn't allowed to. It was always fucking get on with it, stop being a girl and do what you got to do. And I lost my train of thought. Go.
Sorry, that was a polar opposite comment there, because my mum allowed me to be vulnerable. She was very stern, but I think she parented in the right way, and I could be vulnerable with her, but that's kind of a polar opposite between us two right now. Is like, you might not have got to be vulnerable, I might have got to be over vulnerable, or some yin yang way about. But no, that's massive, isn't it? One of the biggest changes that can go through a child's life is your parents splitting, and how, like, we could pull up a statistic right now for how many people actually get divorced in this day and age, and it's a hell of a lot.
Oh, stupid.
My sister was in the same boat as you. She's the eldest child. She's going through her healing journey now, struggling, been through a myriad of relationships, and they're mind-bending relationships as well. But yeah, man, definitely there's going to be so many people that relate, and that's literally why we need to talk about this stuff, because no one can regulate or help themselves to a degree, you know what I mean? Have that community. It's the people around you that can listen, actually go through this shit with you to a degree, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so just to go off what you said about regulating, so that's something that I never knew how to do, because I had to swallow so much shit up. I was suppressing myself emotionally from, well, 8 or 9 years old. And that led me to become a very fucking angry individual from, I'd say, about 11 to 21 years old. I was a very angry individual, and I got into lots of fights. I was punching walls, punching doors, breaking shit, breaking my knuckles, everything.
I held it in, man.
I had no ability to, because it's almost like you're filling a balloon up with air. There's only so much that it can take before it pops, and I used to blow my lid so quickly. I held it in for so long, and then it just all came out, because I had nobody there to regulate me, nobody to help me understand why I'm feeling the way I am. I've said this to a few people. Becoming emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent is difficult, because it's almost like learning a new language, and when you've not been taught that by anyone else, it's so hard to do, because people are so quick to jump on, oh, he's a fucking angry prick, he is, oh, he's a miserable bastard, he is. It's because a lot of the time people don't understand what's going on inside their own heads, and they can't put that into words, because you feel pissed off, you feel upset, you feel depressed, but you don't know why, you don't know what's causing it, you don't know how to come out of it or anything until until you're able to articulate how you feel. Then it's so difficult to regulate yourself and compose yourself, and that's something I didn't really learn until 21 years old. I'm not entirely sure why, and I'm surprised it wasn't earlier, because I used to get in a lot of fights on nights out, and then I had a history of like doing a couple of martial arts with taekwondo, boxing. Stopped that at about age 14, because then that's when I started. Well, about 11 years old is when I started hanging around with the wrong people, drinking, smoking, fags, weed, whatever, and other drugs. And then about 17, 18, I started kickboxing again, and that completely flipped my life upside down. And I completely changed everything, because I was in a relationship before that, and I got really fat, and I had so many unhealthy habits. I was eating shit every day, drinking quite a lot, and then I went into MMA, which then led me to go into cheerleading, and then I don't know what the change was that actually made something in my, whether it's a maturity thing or maybe it was pointed out to me and it clicked, but I'm not entirely sure what really kind of made that change inside my head, where I was able to sort of articulate how I was feeling at the time and understanding how I was feeling.
Well, I feel like it just comes over as like a little wave. Like the tide's always coming in and out through the years, and the waves keep crashing. But as soon as you've felt so many waves crash against you, and you've dealt with that salt and that chafing, that pain through those years, you're just gonna change and see it a bit differently. But the parents don't. Some of them don't, and their parents didn't either. So I think there is really a little bit of this generational breakage in emotional torture that's going on.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're certainly looking at different times.
Yeah, and are they going to be the people that continues on that emotional bullshit, or are they actually going to sit and close their eyes and actually see how they feel? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, one of my biggest reasons to know, to understand myself more and get down, sort of unravel everything inside my own head through therapy or just self-exploration, is to be able to then, when it comes to the time of having a family, I then don't project my negative feelings onto my children. And that's, and it'd be stupidly naive to think that I'm the only person out here, and I fucking hope I'm not, and I'm sure I'm not.
No.
So anybody that's trying to do the same thing, big shout out to you, 'cause it's a massive responsibility. It's difficult to do for a lot of people, because again, if like not everyone can do it. I'm quite a big advocate for saying to people, you should go to therapy. But one thing that I kind of missed out is, if you're not able to articulate how you feel, it's probably going to be a waste of time and money going to therapy. I could be completely wrong, and the therapist might be that thing that helps you articulate how you feel.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I lost my train of thought then.
It's alright, mate. Like, literally on the therapy side of things, people go through changes. You need to be able to talk about the things. I've done therapy. Colby's done therapy. A lot of people have done bloody therapy. Bloody, I can't remember his name. Fat guy. He's done Stutz. He had his own therapist. That's on Netflix. There's so
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
Jonah Hill has
very
done
good
Stutz.
documentary.
There's so much more on therapy. Like, look at BetterHelp and all these bloody YouTube videos. Like, fucking hell, man. Like, everyone's going on about it, but you can go in too young. You can't go in too old. If you're young, you're not going to be just dealing with it. You're still going to be lashing out as a young person. Like, the lad that's in my house now that struggles with himself, he went in when he was younger, as a young teen. That didn't go bloody well, because he just lashed out and didn't understand himself or what was going on and why he deserved to be through.
And that goes down to the vulnerability side of things. And this is something I've realised as well, is because I love, as bad as it sounds, I love psychoanalyzing people, but for the better, because
it's like a deeper people watching,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's brilliant,
and
mate.
I'm fascinated by it, because I like the idea of trying to help people with their problems. But something that I've also realised is like, if you, not everybody is going to be able to understand why you're doing it, and sometimes if you point something out about them that they have never realised themselves or had someone else point it out to them, then it can leave them feeling very fucking vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I can understand, because I remember I'd been through a lot of, I wouldn't say therapy, I'd say more counselling, because I think it's two very different things. When I was younger, through social services and school and NHS, where I've just sat there and locked up, you are not getting in my fucking head, and if you try to, I'm going to kick off. And I understand it, because you don't, it's hard to understand that they are there to help you. And especially, and it happened when I was doing therapy recently, where I was so open-minded when I went into it, and I because I wanted to fix everything, but then I didn't really take into account, and this is such a typical thing for me to do, I don't really take things into account when I run into it, but it's also quite a good mentality to have, because a lot of people won't go into it in the first place. But anyway, there were still times where my therapist would say, but what about this and what about that, and it would dive deep into something, and it made me feel really fucking uncomfortable, and it'd be like, fuck you, fuck off, fuck, why are you talking to me, what are you doing? And it just makes you tense up, and you're like, fucking get out my head. But you need to learn to, I think if you've hit that wall, then you do pull back. I think it is a good thing to pull back, because if you try going any further, you're just going to keep locking up, and you just slowly wean yourself in. It's like trying to get rid of cramp, well, that's a bad analogy, but you kind of, I don't know how to describe it, do you know what I mean? Like, the only way to get rid of cramp is stretch it out. So you kind of need to walk off from it, come back to it.
Everything is just like working out. You do your pull-ups, you callus your hands.
Yeah.
It works for the mind as well. You're going to be, younger people aren't going to have, well, depending on your parents, you're not going to have the stimulating and open conversations which harden your mind. The more vulnerable the convo gets, the more deeper, the more explorative it all gets, your mind will become calloused and you can take on more. It's just like feeling your emotions. How many people truly pause or slow down? Just slow down. You're washing up, you're eating, just slow down, just regulate yourself for a second. But the depth comes when it's close your eyes, go into a more meditative state, and just feel and ruminate on those feelings. Try and feel the inside of your hand with your eyes closed, sitting down, and being a little bit grounded and just try and feel that energy, the feelings that arise, and it's just exploring just the depths of all of that. So, yeah.
Just trying to get to the root cause of it as well.
Yeah.
That's a very important thing. That's a very good thing to learn to master, because I found that out in the past couple of years. Is like, there's a reason why you're feeling anxious. Whether it's straight in front of you or not, it's probably not an obvious answer, and it's something you might be unexpected. But once you actually get to that, it's try. What's it called?
Trial and error.
Trial and error. It's trial and error. You go to one thing. If it's not that, onto the next thing. And the same with depression. The same with pretty much anything. Stress, especially. Stress. You don't get stressed out for no reason. You don't get depressed for no reason. You don't get anxious for no reason. It's caused by something. It could be something that happened years ago and you've not learned to overcome it. You've not unraveled that part in your head. But learning to get to the root cause of a problem, I attached myself so hard previously to having depression, anxiety, all this other bullshit, where I realised that a lot of the time, again, that is just caused by something. So when I learn to deal with that thing, then life becomes better.
We've got to label it all, man.
Yeah, and I think this is something so important nowadays as well, because so many people are so quick to jump on I got diagnosed with this, I got diagnosed with that. Great, what are you doing? Oh, well, I got given some pills, and pills aren't going to do anything. Pills, antidepressants, and whatever, and I can't remember what they're called, beta blockers for anxiety, are just as bad as recreational drugs. They don't fix the problem, they mask it.
Yeah, but recreational drugs are just like so much better.
I can't disagree. But that point is so important. These pills, I have always had such a big problem with taking anything like that, and I've taken antidepressants myself, I've taken beta blockers myself, and I've had like half the side effects, and I go back to the doctors and it's just say, well, it's going to get worse before it gets better. It's like, mate, I've come here at my worst. Why the fuck should I risk it getting? If I get any worse, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Like, that is not an option. So I've always been a massive advocate, and I think this is why I got so into MMA, is because it teaches you discipline, mental and physical.
I like the discipline side of it, really.
Yeah.
Really hone your chaos on your emotions, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But by no means, I'm not a doctor, but my biggest problem with pharmaceuticals is it's a fucking business.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part for me to get over, is it's a business. They want you to buy that.
Everything's a business, mate. It's all a game, it's all a business. But the biggest takeaway for them lot is the biggest thing that you can know is your experience is the most important, is the most defining, it's going to make you learn the most. It's your experience. We're sharing ours, but what's yours?
Yeah, it's the most important to you. I just want to point that out, because I don't want people to take it away and go, oh, well, these guys said on the podcast it's most important out of anyone's. It's not. It's just like, to you, it is the most important. And I was actually having a discussion with our producer last night, and I said to him, because a lot of the time, especially in couples, a lot of the time they would struggle to talk to each other because they think, oh, you're already struggling, so if I give you my problems as well, it's going to make you worse. Not necessarily the case. I think it depends on the individual, because what you got to understand is your problems to you have a different sense of gravity as to what it would for someone else.
Yeah.
How many times have I come to you with a problem and you've really taken that on, and you've gone spiraled as much as I have, and your head's down into the dumps? It doesn't happen, because it's, you don't have the same emotional ties to that situation. That's why it's so much easier and more helpful to get advice from someone else, because they can look at it from an informative point of view. If you're given all the facts, they can look at it factually and say, you should try this, should try that. Some people can't do it. Some people aren't built to help people, and that's fine, because they've probably got their own stuff going on. But I think that's an important thing to understand, is your problems have a different weight to you than it does with other people.
Exactly. It's all about finding the tools to be able to get through it. You might not be able to shift it forever, but you'll be able to carry it better, won't you?
It's learning. I think it's learning to work with it.
Yeah, definitely. I hope people just think differently, just have a shift in a bit of consciousness going around here, man. Everyone's just, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a big turning point in your life when you realise that everyone is dealing with their own problems. So just be nice to each other. There's no need to shout. There's no need to abuse. It's just recognising we are all humans. We are all. You having fun there?
Yeah. We are all human, though, innit?
Yeah. No, I think I don't know. It's,
Don't have to know. You just have to be.
Yeah, but it's like for some people we're gonna say that shit and they're just gonna be like, whatever. And some people are gonna go, ding, light bulb
Some
moment.
people are going to be like, he knows,
Yeah,
he knows.
Yeah. But I think it's a thing that comes with age. I think I don't know. It's just it's such a hard topic to speak in absolutes with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you can't. The game is life is for learning, man. Life is for learning.
Yeah.
Everyone's always on this fucking ship of continuous learning, and it's goddamn fucking fun. That's the thing. Like when it gets bad, like you go through something shit. That's when you can see it all. It's like, holy fuck, like this is like madness. Like it's sad, it's beautiful, it's happy, it's fucking bawling from your eyes, but life is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah.
Like, can't take that shit away. So go on your fucking walks, go to the gym, go see your fucking grandma, like I need to.
Yeah, I do need to go see my grandparents, to be fair.
Yeah, man. I've only just been starting getting through like deeper pictures, like seeing great grandfathers and all that, and I'm like, yo, times are different, bro.
One of the last times I went to my grandparents' house, her dad was in the police, and looking at the photos, it's like proper like Peaky Blinders times. I was like, oh, that's sick. I mean, we're still gonna go on about us a little bit because we've got 4 questions from the producer. So do you want to go through these now?
Yeah.
Because it's still going to be about us. I think we're at the point now where, well, you don't want to talk about yourself anymore. I don't.
Well, I'm happy to. I think our relationship when we met, we all saw as a friendship group how rocky everyone was.
Yeah, it was fucking horrendous. I can't believe we still, for whatever reason, we still all stuck together. Like, it's interesting actually because I've said to you before, and I didn't. It wasn't that I didn't like you when I first met you. I didn't trust you because you were always so fucking quiet.
Yeah, but you would pick at me, but I would see your reactions because you were not in a bad way, but just as an emotional, noticing way. You were how my dad was. My dad was always angry, outlashing. You kid. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, that's fun to go
Yeah,
through.
but kids observe. 85% of kids learn from observing, and I was in that 85%. It was how not to be. I saw people lose their cool, lose their actions to their emotions, and so I held everything in. I was the king of like bottling shit up, bro. But I just wouldn't want to go that way because it just wasn't a nice way to be. But then that had its effects on me in other ways as people, you know what I mean? Either game you go down, you're getting a get.
It's interesting though because a lot of people, to go through that, they would end up reciprocating that same behaviour. But obviously, I think in the time that I've known you, let's say 6 or 7 years, I've only ever seen you lose your shit probably once.
But then it's kind of better because when people know you and then you do lose your shit, it's like, oh, okay, like he's actually pissed now.
Yeah. But yeah, whereas with me, it was just losing my shit at absolutely everything because
in the friendship group, we would get a bit. Again?
So
not to be mean.
So one thing I've come to realise about myself when I was younger, and still a little bit now, is going back to being the oldest child, I was quite a bit of an attention seeker.
Well, the ego is a beautiful thing, mate.
I don't know if it was, I don't necessarily think it was ego. I think it was, it could be ego, it could be, what I'm about to explain could be where egos grow from, but grow from.
Okay.
So because I was the eldest child, took on a lot of responsibilities. Everyone else got a lot more attention than I did. That led on to me kind of not consciously thinking how can I pull everyone into me. It was, I think a lot of the time I only really got noticed at that age when I kicked off, when I was emotionally erratic.
Of course.
And that also went on to a lot of my life, and I don't really want to go into things specifically because there's been some fucking fucked up shit that I've done. That sounds really bad.
We've all done fucked up shit, bro.
Yeah, there's been a lot of circumstances, but that's a realization I came to recently, is that I was quite a bit of an attention seeker because I don't want to say I was neglected, but I didn't get a substantial amount of attention when I was younger, because it was always focused elsewhere, which is fine. I'm not, this isn't a blame game. It's just acknowledging it and moving forward from it. So yeah, that's something interesting that I found out about
that's
myself.
why I was like that.
Yeah. And I find that such a fascinating.
Yeah, because when you've changed and gone through all that you have done, you just carry yourself way much better now, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's the most important thing, and I love now that I'm able to handle myself so much more in terms of emotions.
Yeah, you learn to regulate on your own. Not many people do that, do they?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, we were one hell of a unique pack of people. There was a brilliant quote my sister sent me like years ago, and it was like how emotionally dysregulated or neurodivergent people just like find like you're just a broken wolf from the pack, from the family. But these broken people, the neurodivergent, not everyone is, but you know what I mean, they find each other, so it's just a broken pack altogether. And it's quite a beautiful thing, because we all find each other in a way, don't we?
Yeah, it's like trying to sellotape a vase back up, isn't it? Like, it's gonna crumble. It hasn't crumbled, but you know what I mean. It's not got the same structural integrity.
Well, we're trying to do it the Japanese way, where you line those cracks with gold to highlight the beauty of that struggle.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, boy. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's fun being a young lad, isn't it? That's the thing. I'll never regret any of these days, any of these problems. Like, because all your problems make you the man that you are.
Yeah, I think regret is a dangerous thing to dwell on, because a lot of people do say, "Oh, I regret not doing this, or I regret not doing that." It's like, okay, well, I didn't do that. It's not literally my way of looking at things is: can I do anything about it? No. Can I control it? No. Sorry, headphone users. I'm not going to worry about it. There's literally no point. Like, you will stress yourself out so much worried about, and I think that's you will stress yourself out.
It's a poor man's thought. It's a poor man's thought. There's many ways a poor man can be. I'm not saying poor in financial ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even the rich can still be poor mentally.
Oh fuck yeah, most of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are. Especially, I think it tends more to be the ones that have come from a background of having everything, and they could just get richer, and it's just no appreciation for anything, and that's when I don't know, you end up in different directions.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I want to do. Like, I want to go see Paul again. I never will get to see him again, probably. You never know.
Oh, imagine we've got him on the podcast. That was sick.
Yeah, it was just cool. Just like asking him, like no one would ask him. It's some millionaire sold phones for you for like 27 million. And I was just there, like, he kept giving me drinks. I was pissed off. I was like, so how do you even feel about all of this? Like, you got 20 Ferraris. Like, do you even feel like you own any of it? And he was like, shit, no, mate, no. I'm going to go in the fucking ground, and it's going to go to someone else. I'm borrowing this for a pricey amount. And I appreciated his point, really, because, yeah, man.
Yeah, I think a lot of people... I think some people will think about those things, but they're too scared to ask it. And especially, like... I'm not a person for this. Is when people like meet celebrities or millionaires and whatever, they're really kiss arsey.
I don't give a fuck about them. I never have.
With like,
never want to meet no idol. Sorry, it stirs me up.
I mean, right. So I had a conversation recently about this. Is there's a saying, you should never meet your heroes. Realistically, right? If you're level-headed and actually have some sort of intelligence about you, you've got to recognise that what you've seen of that person is what they want you to see, right? You've got to understand that they are a person themselves. There's no such thing as a perfect person. Nobody's nice all the time. Everyone has the outlashes. Everyone crumbles at some point. So you cannot be... So many people go online and say, oh, yeah, he looks all this online, but when I met him in person, he was an absolute wanker. Yeah, you probably caught him out on an off day. I actually heard someone about someone meeting Eddie Hall, and it was a service station or something. He was sat eating, and somebody went up to him and said, can I have a photo? It's like, and he told him to fuck off. I fucking would.
Well, yeah, he's been through it so many bloody times.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm eating it, mate.
And this is something I hate doing, is when I meet people that I idolise, or people that I don't think I've met that many millionaires, to be honest, but I don't do that kiss arty shit. No. A lot of people will just ask the same questions. And you know what? I actually watched a video of Elon Musk. He had a fan walking around one of the rocket bases, and you could see how much Elon hated being there, because it was just like surface level shit that he was asking Elon, or saying to Elon, oh my god, look how big that rocket is. Elon's just there like, yeah, no fucking shit, I can see it. ask me something in, like, you know, ask me something with some substance, like some grit, like that's actually going to make me think.
That's where I like to come in, like knocking the fucking door down, mate. It's like, what's going on in your little brain, mate?
Yeah.
Like, you shit the same as me, kid. What are you thinking about today?
Coffee's going to be the same size as mine.
Yeah. What's your the biggest thing for me is actually listening to them. I just want, because you know my angle, you know where, like, Harry the Human, like the Human Show, where I want to be with all this. I would do it on here with people who are winning, whatever. It's their journey, it's their changes that they've gone through. Paul Bailey was homeless, he struggled, he set the goal to be a millionaire by 30, he hit it at 32, and we had quite a deep chat, and he loves his Red Bull and whatever the hell, Jaeger and Red Bull and shit, mate. His man's ruthless, but and a banging driver. But yeah, that was good, and not many people can open up to that degree. But
yeah,
but I just think there have been so many successful people through these modern times, and these modern times are a complete swamp fest for finding yourself, figuring yourself out, all that shit. It is survival of the fittest, but up here now.
Yeah.
And
there's so many things to be distracted by.
Exactly.
To stop you from.
But what about if we have some lessons and core choices, changes actually amplified by these people? Like, oh, well, then this happened, it clicked in my brain like that. Like, we're sharing our thoughts. I went through this, I thought like that, I've come to this realisation, I've done this, proved myself. But for a millionaire, what for them? Everyone's got something defining. What is it? Everyone's got a piece of the puzzle. So what is it?
Because it opens up different perspectives as well. Because, like, you could have been through very similar things. Like, because do you know what? Right, I'd love it if we put these videos out and somebody commented on it saying, "You were talking about this. Have you ever thought about it this way?" I'd actually fucking love that.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Nobody's opinion's irrelevant. There's no wrong answer. Like, it's just, I've been through the same situation. This is how I dealt with it, and I'd be interested to see, because, you know, there's more than one way to do things.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. That is the beauty of it. That's what I love, is all the perspectives, and it's even ones not liked. I'll still hold and, like, fumble around with that thought process. Like, it can be as harrowing as it can be, but shit, look at that shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're still young minds as well.
Oh, fuck yeah, we've got so much to learn. Like, we've not even had kids yet. We're not married yet.
I can't wait for that. Fast track to enlightenment, mate. They say.
Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't go that way. Because sometimes, like, you ever hear about women when they give birth to children, they fucking hate the child. They wish that child was dead.
What?
Yeah, it's like postnatal. I don't know if it's depression. I don't think it's that. I think it's detachment or something of the sort. But it does happen.
That's weird.
It generally does happen when they have the kid and they're just so detached from it. But you think about it, like, and you can understand it, because, like, you carry that child for like 9 months, and then they go through an unholy amount of pain to push that child out of a hole that nothing that size should come out of.
And then it's ugly.
Maybe, but but some women just give birth to a child and they're so detached from it that they literally just don't care about it. It happens with animals as well. Almost like the runt of the litter, but generally, I'll have to do some research into it, and we'll discuss it another time. Or
brains are a strange thing, aren't they?
Yeah,
how we're wired.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, I think that's a very dark way to look at bringing life into the world. But there's definitely darker ways to look at it. But
yeah, you're born, fuck off.
Yeah, go on, fuck off, make a living. Go look at the state of the world.
That's the fun side of it about brains. When you get into the emotional shit, and it depends on the person. I love a bit of neuroscience and all that. Depth, really. I quite enjoy reading about all that. I think Andrew Huberman, his come up started it for me, but now I'm following like just different brain doctors on Instagram, and I enjoy it, honestly. That's something people need to bloody well change, is their digestion up here from what they're watching.
Oh yeah,
because people can change very easy with just trying to read different, like, I say, digest what they read.
Even the music you listen to.
But no one fucking does it. No one's like, I'll unfollow that page. I'll unfollow this fucking drug meme page. I'll unfollow this racist meme page. That's funny. You know what I mean? Like, grow the fuck up, mate. Stop sending me that shit 10 times a day.
I hate that shit. Anytime somebody sends me a reel, there's a 99% chance I'm not going to watch it, because it's going to be bollocks, and it's going to be something I really don't care about. I just don't want to entertain it, because it's just small-minded shite. I think a lot of the content on social media nowadays is just, I don't understand why I kind of do understand why we are rewarding it, but at the same time, it's just fucking bollocks.
Do you know what you need? Do you know what I love? It's like therapy memes and shit like that.
Yeah,
just like I don't know, mate.
but that's,
People will know what I mean.
that's why I'm happy. Do you know what? I understand why people fall into it, because a lot of people don't really look further than the four walls they're in terms of they go to work 9 till 5 or they go work on site, and then they've got nothing going for them in terms of a hobby or something on the side like we've got with this podcast. That's why I'm massively grateful for forever being chasing something that I want to do. It's not always been videography. It used to be photography when I was like 15. Then I fell out of love with that. I started kickboxing, got into MMA, and you asked me pre-COVID, the only thing I was going to do in the world was become a UFC fighter. That was the biggest fucking dream to me.
Yeah, I was like, all right, mate.
COVID happened. Because I couldn't train anymore. I had to do something, and that's when I got back into it. And I've never looked back. And I'm massively grateful for the fact that I found that, because I've had so many conversations with people, and they're just like, I'm stuck in this job and I just don't know what I want to do in life. And I don't understand that, because I've always had something that I've wanted to do. And I am always so fucking headstrong on doing it, because realistically, for me personally, and this is not saying it for anyone else, is that if all life for me is just working a 9 till 5, struggling to make ends meet, I'll shoot myself tomorrow. If you pulled out a crystal ball and told me that was my future, gone, done.
But that's the four walls closing in on people. From my perspective, my side, my life with it is I have done that for 10 years.
Yeah.
I have worked through Christmases. I've done 36 hours, 35 days straight. I've done some fucking balls to the wall shit with like the last working cowboys in construction, like mental people. Like, you can't treat anyone like how I might have been treated, but I got treated okay-ish compared to how they got treated.
Yeah. But what have you got now? Yeah, you're cool. You got a house, car and that, but you've also got a fucked body.
Yeah, well, it's not fucked. It can always be sorted and regulated. It's just stretching, you know what I mean? But the point I was trying to get to is, you get the apprenticeship, you get the career. It's daunting. This is what I could be doing for the rest of my life. But if you actually I got up the ladder a bit quicker with money, and its stability. It's just holding that ground. You are safe. You are okay. Your money is coming in. You have no worries. You are not highly in these manic emotions. You can calm down and just have a look at what matters to me. Where do I want to go? And then you got the money. You got the pick of the choice on what passion you want to go into. I've thrown bare money at random shit. I don't give a fuck, mate.
Yeah, I do get that.
But then you've got a fire under your ass going for what you want, and I've got a lazy fire. But it's just two different sides of a wall, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've always been somewhat of a creative person.
It's always been there, man. But that shit
you've never known how to channel it.
Mate, got pushed down, bro.
Yeah, but that's what happens to so many people. Do you know what? I actually started watching that Breeders last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So there was one specific thing that was really pushed out to me. So, like, he was such an aggressive parent because
I know where you're going.
When he went to school, that his parents didn't want him to go to that school or something. But he ended up all the creativity. He wanted to be a writer or a painter, whatever. And then because his school were like, no, you need to focus on maths, you need to focus on English.
This is a hard world. You need to get a job. Yeah. That's what happened to me, man.
And then he has that, basically because that happened to him, he's now got so much tension inside his body and mind that whenever his kids act out, he flips and he goes ape shit.
Too much, yeah.
And that's, I don't want to be that person.
No, but it's a very good show. I saw the title of Breeders, and I was like, what the fuck?
I'd seen it on Netflix.
That's
when
something I'd search on porno.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? But it was very good, very good. But no, Breeders is a good show.
Yeah, it is very good. I'm still yet to finish it, and a lot of it I haven't actually watched because I fell asleep.
Yeah, no, I've only watched 2 with the missus, you know what I mean?
It is a good show, though. It reminds me a lot of Outnumbered, if you ever watched that.
What show?
Had Hugh Dennis in it, and it was basically like a similar family. It was really good. Quite an old, I'd say, like, I don't know, I can't remember.
I like the push for highlighting that family scenario. They've tried to push like trans and things like that. There was a show I watched. Oh my god, I really need to know what the hell that was. It was about a young boy wanting to become a girl, and it was a roller coaster. I think they handled it okay, could have been better. It was very stereotypical, but people are trying to push this. Some do it wrong. Doctors, BBC, iPlayer, dog shit. But
So I actually watched
it's the hit and miss of it.
Do we go down this route? Yeah, fuck it. So I watched this debate between a guy called Charlie Kirk, who's an American. I've actually mentioned him on the podcast without mentioning his name. Is the I don't want to say Republican. I think it's the opposite of that in America.
I hate politics. Go on.
Heavily Christian, blah blah blah, and basically he sat down with a trans. I don't know how you go back. Used to be a woman, now he's a man, but transitioned way before it became popular because everything's a fucking TikTok trend at the minute.
Fair play to that person though. Before everything.
So they were sat talking and they were bringing up different points of like, what do you think that the transsexual scene can somewhat be a lot of body dysmorphia, and it needs to be addressed mentally before you address it physically, because there's actually quite a high suicide rate within the trans community when they've converted, that's a bad fucking word to use, transitioned, got to the other side and gone, fuck, I don't like this, and you can't reverse it, and they kill themselves.
Statistically, depression is higher after you've, I was going to say converted again. Yeah, no, it is. It is right. It's a hard thing. These are the mental games and the mental high jumps like kids and anyone can be doing these days. There's so much out there. There's so much shit to see and look at.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just one random dude on the fucking internet now. And you got to be 21 in America to drink beer. How about you 21 or 24 living as your gender before you actually make the jump?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. It's just it's so strange because it's
so strange.
It's so new.
Yeah.
In a sense, and it's so hard to. It can be pushed based off a TikTok trend, and then I just think it leads to misinformation and people get confused, especially at a young age. Like, I'm not being funny. Some people, there's like kids at school like 9 years old, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl." It's like, motherfucker, I wanted to be a frog when I was 9 years old.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah, like it's just,
let the kids be fucking kids, man.
Yeah, just
don't stop giving your kids fucking phones as well. Get them to like 14, 13, whatever. You don't need a bloody phone unless you're out in the dark.
It's kind of hard nowadays though, because you've got to think about it on the flip side. If you don't give your kid a phone or an iPad, then at school they're gonna get fucking bullied because like, oh, you're too poor for an iPad. You know what? You kids at school are fucking ruthless. Yeah, I was one of those ruthless kids. It's awful.
Well, kids ain't got a moral compass. That's the thing. They're feral, mate.
And especially like now, because like dark humour is so accessible. Like I watched
and everything.
I watched a TV show and they were like, they put out this scene where it was like this kid that had cancer and he went to school and they were calling like chemo boy, and I was like, there's no fucking way that's really happening in real life. That is insane. It probably is. If it is, it's disgusting. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to educate kids in it, because you're talking to them about a really serious topic and they're sat there like, I'm gonna go spin around in the garden.
Yeah.
I just want to say something about the trans side of things and whatever as well. I don't give a fuck. I don't. No, in terms of like, I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I don't give a fuck. You do whatever you want to do as long as you're happy. I don't give a shit.
It's like, life, people.
You know, just make sure you take the right approaches to it. I can't really talk that much about it because I don't know that much about it. But
I don't even know how we got there, mate.
Don't fucking care.
Just whatever you're going to do in life, find out the most information you can before making a choice. Make a well-informed decision.
In the wise words of Bob Marley, don't worry, be happy.
Just be happy.
Is it Bob Marley?
Don't worry.
Be
happy.
Yeah, it is.
Now. I always do the Shark Tale version of that.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You know what I mean? Where he like breaks it down. He's like, that's not how you sing the damn song, man.
And then the whale wash.
Yeah.
Such a good film.
Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway,
I'm going to rewatch that.
Shall we hit these questions?
Yeah, right. Pick a card. Any card.
Pick a card. Any card.
I reckon, yeah, pick one out, read it out.
Okay.
I'll answer it because there's 4. So I'll answer this one, I'll pick one out. You answer that one, yeah?
Yes, boss.
Or do you want to do both?
No, boss. It's okay, boss. You do your boss. Looking into the future, would you want the same upbringing for your children or not? And why? You go. I'll go. Let's go, boss. He's thinking, ladies and gentlemen. He's debating. I
did say earlier that I don't like to live in regret. But I don't know. But right now at this current moment, absolutely not. I need to stop swearing so much. Absolutely not. I think what I've been through has been so very damaging, and it's also put me behind quite a fair bit, and I've lacked structure my entire life. I've not had the parental guidance that I needed, and I've seen some things that no child should have to see, and I've taken on responsibilities that no child should have to take on. And that has put an unholy amount of stress on me, mentally and physically. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, you can write it off by saying it's character building. But I don't know. I think it's quite. I don't know. It's quite a hard question to answer, to be honest, from my side anyway. What do you think?
I think a child should be a child. I think on my side of things, would you want the same upbringing for your children or not? On my, I have been so scared to have children, bro. I do not want my child to go through the pain and the torture in my mind that I went through. God fucking damn, no. We all see things that we don't really should have seen. But at the same time, to be able to live life and arise above all of that and get through the pain, because no child's going to have it fucking easy.
No.
But I think it's going to be up to you whether you think the challenges henceforth are going to be worth that life. The qualities of my life, my childhood, definitely. Village, small, rural, village school, all that. Yeah, sure. Made me fucking doubt God straight away. Cheers for that.
Yeah, 100%. I went to Catholic school as well.
But climbing trees, riding your bike, fucking about in your quarries,
knocking yourself out of a brick in a garden.
Yeah, mate, I fucking fainted loads of shit from like falling out of trees and like smacking the branches all the way down, and you get up, let's go again, you know what I mean?
Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah. It was good being a kid, man, but there's some hard times. But I would, now, at this age, I would take the risks. If all the bad that I went through had the potential to come up for my child, I think now that I would still go through with it. Which is quite hard, but ultimately, if I'm here now, and I am how I am, I don't doubt that I can care for that child way better and hold him way better than what might be.
Has your mum ever told? I wonder, like, if your mum went through a similar thing. I wonder if that's, is that something that's been like passed down? Like, because you just said that you'd do essentially what your mum did for you.
What, just like be there and have chats and shit?
Yeah, like nurture you and like through that such a difficult time. I wonder.
No, she didn't have that.
Was she not?
No.
Just out of curiosity.
No, not the grandparents and all that, mate. You know how they are. She. Okay, so on the parent side, she was 20. And she loved running, sports, and she wanted to be a coach. She wanted to be a PT. Back in those days, and all my grandma would be like, why do you want to do that? Why would anyone want to do that? Why would anyone pay you for that? So she didn't. She stopped doing it. And she's, whatever age, 60-something now, I will always see her as like 35, 40, probably 45. That's like my childhood of her. Yeah. I'll always hold her in my head there. And she's now going through all of her training and everything. And we've had the conversation of like, it's never too late to start.
Oh, no.
I thought I was late starting this now.
No.
I've wanted to do so many things since I was 14, knowing what I've known. But, you know, over 10 years later, I'm finally letting myself be vulnerable and actually chat about shit. So, yeah. That is a fucking heavy question.
Yeah,
Holy shit,
I was just
man.
sat thinking like, my
God.
fuck
you, Philippe. Bloody hell. Would you want the same upbringing for your children that you've had?
Is that a ChatGPT one?
No, that's his.
Motherfucker, props to you, Philippe,
I wonder what these guys think. Like, however you have had your childhood, lived your life, would you be acceptable for that to be your own child's life?
Fuck it, we'll open it up. If you have a story about your childhood, and you can answer this question that we've just asked, which was, looking into the future, would you want the same upbringing for your child or not, and why? Email it over to thechangespodcast@gmail.com, and obviously if you're emailing it, we're going to read it out, talk about it, discuss it, and yeah, let's see if that one goes. We're probably not going to get anyone emailing, but I appreciate anyone that does.
I'll just make a spoof account and email it.
Gets ChatGPT to write out a load of different stories.
We got one, guys. We got one.
We've got 20. Right, ready? This is a GPT one.
Ah, go on. What's the AI got to tell me? What the fuck was that?
Dog.
Spit it out.
I'm trying to read it.
Man's dyslexic, you know.
This is written in wingdings.
Wingdings.
How did your family dynamic impact the way you approach? Oh, okay. Fucking hell, that's actually quite good.
Oh.
How did your dynamic?
Do you want to...
Fucking hell, man.
Fucking hell, mate.
Fuck it. How did your family dynamic impact the way you approach relationships, whether personal or professional?
Fucking hell.
Not bad for a robot.
Read it again, please.
Really? Really, I've just struggled like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well,
I'll struggle more for you, mate.
I'll struggle
more for you. How did your family...
Hey, yo, Philippe, my producer, my man, how you doing?
Bruh. That was...
Hey, yo, my guy's coming clutch.
That was such a good question. It's insane.
Which one?
The looking into your future, would you want the same upbringing for your child? Right, we're going to go for a break. We'll come back to that one.
Hey, yo, shout out Cecil Street Food, fish and chips, banging.
And we're back.
All right.
For the main event of the evening.
And coming in the red corner.
Weighing at 250 pounds, it's Harry.
You what?
Sorry, that's Charles weight, isn't it?
Yeah.
126 pounds.
All right.
Back. Guess who's back again. We're back. Right, so to go off what we were talking about before we had our break. How did your family dynamic impact the way you approach relationships, whether personal or professional?
I think probably due to my mum, as I said earlier, like Angel Sen, just an absolutely lovely person. She had a light within her, and there was a clip about like the softness of a woman's voice, but she was there. She cared for me, she loved me, and I think when it comes to relationships, even if a woman might be a bit broken or have some shit going on in her head, whatever, I'll always see the light that is there within them. I'll always see what they're capable of, who they can become, like who is really there, that just the beautiful side that is always there, but then it can be a negative because then I'll just fucking go through all the shit, like just dealing with it. But I'm enjoying that person, and I know I'm going to be facing myself and learning through it all.
Yeah, I think also something that you maybe should have realised in the past, or I don't know, if you end up in a different relationship, who knows, hopefully not, but that, like, regardless too, I think it's taking the responsibility to analyse the compatibility of it, because yes, okay, you might see the light in that person, but also the way you are as a person can also negatively affect them, because you're not compatible. You've got two very different attachment styles, personalities, thoughts and feelings, whatever else, and outlooks on life.
Would they learn from that? Because I would do that. I'm not an idiot. I would analyse, I would know, but I wouldn't care. I would throw it out, because the experience and the fun of knowing that person, going through the pain will lead to questions and answers. Some don't question and change themselves. Some stay in the same rut.
Yeah.
But others might think, well, I fucked up a lot in the past as well. Admittedly, 1,000%. Like, I would self-sabotage, had my own demons to face. But the whole point of early and young relationships is to face yourself and develop from that. I've been through a fair few. Don't regret any, really. I'd say. They've all had the ups of all of their downs, and that's the beauty of it.
Sorry. Yeah. And I think I've spoken about this before. With my side of things is with the complete opposite, where I'm probably, I don't know, I'm definitely somewhat of an avoidant attachment style, where I've just pulled away from it all realistically. I've entertained small flings, but I've not had a long-term relationship since I was 21. And my upbringing definitely didn't positively impact my upbringing, my relationships. I want to say personally, in terms of like romantic relationships. Professionally, I don't really correlate the two.
Professionally, no, not really.
Yeah.
I know where you're going there. I want to agree with you on that point, because on the divorce side, parents splitting, I never wanted to get married. I never wanted long terms. I'm still scared of long term, because ultimately, how can one person be in a monogamous relationship for so long? It's so hard. But these days, I've learned it's about just the work, it's the duty, it's the perspective shift and change to what you're building together.
Yeah.
But divorce is fucking annoying, man.
Sometimes it's so difficult to differentiate. Sometimes it's so difficult to differentiate between whether something's actually going to work out or it's time to call it a day, because I think it's quite. I think in the majority of times it's quite a male mindset to want to fix things and not leave it. No, that's not right. Let me say that again. Typically, some males want to fix things. I know a lot of lads that have been in relationships and they don't want to leave it. I was like that as well. I never really ended a relationship up until my last proper one, because it was for the better of both of us. But a lot of people just want to stay in it and fix it, but they're almost blinded by the naivety. Again, it's because you can't emotionally detach yourself from that situation because you're in it. And it's hard to look at it from an outside in. It's hard to take other people's opinions as well, because every time someone says something to you about a partner, you're just like, oh no, you just don't understand it. But realistically, they do, and their points are very valid. So it's hard to draw that line of, we can work through this, or it's just not going to fucking work. We are not compatible. We are not supposed to be together.
A lot of people just keep getting into relationships as well, and I'm guilty of that. But I would self-sabotage, because underlying, what I always told myself would be, if you don't love yourself, how can you truly love another person?
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah, that was always in the back of my mind. And then I see people that are just reactive and just a bit lost and anxious in their own head, don't know themselves fully. It's like, bro, do you love yourself, man? Have you accepted all that you are? Are you accepting all that they are? Like,
yeah, we've actually spoken. I'm pretty sure this is in the first episode, because I've literally just edited it. I think we spoke about this in the first episode. In my second relationship, I was very insecure. I didn't love myself whatsoever, and I relied on someone externally to make me feel better about myself, and that eventually ended up tearing the relationship apart. My mental health went to absolute shit, and then by proxy, so did hers. So, and many other things, we just had to call it a day, because it was just going to kill us both.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've done, is I've pulled myself away from that side of things, because I want to, and I want to learn to love myself a lot better than what I used to. And I'm a couple of steps ahead in that journey, but not all the way there, which I don't know. I don't know how long it will take. Could be next week, could be next year, could be the next 10 years, but I'm just making sure that next time I get into a relationship, it's not a repeat of the last one. That's always something that I've had, is the mentality of, and you know what, it actually, I can't remember if I spoke about this on the first one, but my two relationships when I was from 15 to 21, no, 16 to 21, were both two and a half years, and they were the complete polar opposites, where she was more interested in me than I was her, and then I realised I wasn't attentive enough, this, that and the other. I went into that next relationship and I was complete polar opposite. Being an idiot, I can't. Yeah. I've always struggled with the balancing things, so that ended up taking it out of me, and it's kind of just like learning to balance between the two.
That's it. You learned it. You counted the other one the other way, and then ultimately you're still going through that rough patch and sorting it out. But what you said earlier as well about finding the love, loving yourself, maybe you'll find a girl that will just nudge you a bit more in you loving yourself as well, because a woman will always love qualities you don't like about yourself, but maybe someone might come around and show that side of you in that different way. But you got to give them the chance to see that and get to that point of knowing you.
So that goes back to what we were talking about last week with the whole vulnerability side of things. And you know what, interestingly, I actually started watching, it sounds so random, but I started watching the 007 films with Daniel Craig.
I've got to go back to that, man.
I watched Casino Royale first, obviously, and then I watched it, and I kind of, after having that conversation last week about my vulnerability problems, where I feel like I've never been seen, but am I allowing myself to be seen? So let me just, I'm actually taking a fair bit of a note down, just go through this, because I think it's quite interesting. It might, other people might relate to it, other people might not.
Yeah, boy, we'll find it and we'll go.
So alongside the story of James Bond being an MI6 agent, there's also a love, for this being about Casino Royale.
Yeah.
So alongside the story of James Bond being an MI6 agent, there is also a love story being portrayed at the same time. Bond, in his line of work, obviously has to be a cold-hearted individual to be able to operate as he does, which massively stems from his childhood as an orphan, and as an adult, secret agent leads to him having countless meaningless encounters. That's a poor English skill. I can't fucking function now.
Pause and rewrite it if you want. Reword it.
No, it's alright, it's alright.
Yeah.
So, yeah, leads to him having countless meaningless encounters with women up until the point he meets someone who sees that there's a lot more than what meets the eye, which is Vesper Lynd. With Vesper so easily being able to dive past the surface of Bond, this makes him feel seen, which inevitably leads him to fall in love. So that doesn't directly, I don't know the word. It's not the same story, not the exact same story for me, but I have that problem with he evidently couldn't show vulnerability. He didn't know how to. He didn't understand himself. And then when somebody finally saw him, he kind of like let himself go and whatever else. So that led me to ask the questions of, do I just need to work on myself more psychologically in order to allow myself to be seen? Is it just a case of waiting for my Vesper Lynd to come into my life and break through my armour? They're sort of two questions that I kind of asked myself after watching that.
I think you got to be willing to be hurt. I think you got to be willing to try, get hurt, because you're not going to find it straight away, are you?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because
that vulnerability might be locked up and hidden away, not wanting to be seen, not wanting to be damaged. You know, there's that meme of like this little Play-Doh thing in a box, and as soon as it comes out of the box, it gets like punched, and it's like, all right, back in the box.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But you have to keep getting punched, man.
Yeah,
which is the hard thing.
Yeah, it's especially difficult with the sort of past year of my dating history has been fucking horrendous. Like there was one situation that absolutely tore me from limb to limb, and then went into another situation where it was out of confusion and a heavily dysregulated nervous system, to then binning it off and then going into something else where it was kind of a repeat last year, but I was more emotionally aware, more standoffish in terms of like, this might not work out, just be prepared. And it's kind of, like you say, it is learning to let yourself go, but it's hard to keep faith in that actually coming through once there's been so many situations where you kind of start to let your guard down. And then before you know it, it's gone. And it's just like, well, there goes my fucking walls again.
What about if you became carefree of it as well, though? Where it has happened so often, the hurt is the hurt. The hurt is the hurt. Don't give a fuck about the hurt.
Yeah, but the thing is like, the more you get hurt, the more normal you become, realistically. Like, it's like MMA fighters. They kick metal poles to make their shins harder and feel less pain. But that's not a healthy thing. And that, I think, if anything, opens you up to more damage.
Yeah, there's a hard one. Some people just say trust the process.
Yeah, but to go back to the question, for me, how did the dynamic of my family impact the way I approach relationships? Not very well, because, like I said, my parents got divorced when I was young. I saw my mum go through countless of abusive relationships, which I have had a problem with my temper in previous relationships. Never needed anything more than just shouting and being a bit of a dickhead, and would, never fucking lay my hands on a woman. And it's also, I like to think of myself as a romantic person. I think sometimes I can be, but it also needs to be pushed out a little bit further, because I never saw my parents in love. I've never really seen either of my parents in love. And when my dad got married quite quick, he didn't really have that many relationships from my mum to my now stepmom. Always made me cringe when I ever saw those two being lovey-dovey, so I kind of shut that side off. And it's just, I don't know, I don't think I ever really truly understood what love is.
Mm.
But I kind of see it from my grandparents, and I kind of see it from movies,
Yeah.
which I don't know if that's good or a bad thing. I think in some
It's a
respects
nice
it can be.
takeaway
But
still. It's a nice
Yeah.
takeaway, isn't it?
that's mine.
No, I feel you. I feel privileged. The person who shows love the most, obviously, like my stepdad and my mum, because I was like 9, 10, divorced, fucking walked in on my stepdad clapping cheeks, and my mum, God damn, no, brother, I tell you. And then your mum comes and tells you off, it's like, you need to knock next time. It's like, what? But I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, no, mate, I don't know shit. But yeah, but no, them. Yeah, like over 10 years later, they're absolutely thick as pig shit. Oh my god, like they go running, like the marathons together. They go sailing. They do everything together, mate. That's and the romance is there.
Yeah.
The seeing the human for the human is truly unmatched, really.
Or if it's seeing a part of yourself in someone else.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting duo to get on, or at least one of them. I'd say Clive would be one hell of an interesting man. He never knew his dad. He absolutely came from nothing.
I feel like there'd be a lot of outtakes out of that one.
Yeah, but it'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah. Fuck's sake, keep it in the mic. Every older person, pretty much. Come on, they've got one hell of a story. The times were different. It's easier for us now. There's so much bullshit making shit easier. Like they had the fucking sick stories. They changed it. Like moving countries, hard family works, everything. Like they had to be like the thicker of the skin.
Yeah.
Seriously. So hopefully we'll get there and bring some people on. But moving on anyway, because we're professional tangent fucking players.
Yeah, that went off.
Told you the topic changes. Okay. I feel like we've kind of hit this, but one positive and one negative memory that you went through that helped shape who you are today. We have gone through a lot of memories.
Yeah, I feel like we've done that.
Don't worry, guys, we won't bore you with that one. You've listened to enough of our chats. The next question. What aspects of your background do you think are misunderstood or overlooked by others? I'd say your anger thing back in the day when we were younger as well. Like, no, I'd be like, oh, someone's there. No one fucking knows why, do they? Like, there's so many outbursts of kids or... Like, even bullying. Like, what the fuck's going on with that bullying kid at home? Like, is something going on with parents? Like, what's going on with that quiet kid? What's happened? Like, someone's died in the family. Like, he's struggling. There's so many things that get overlooked. I think I get seen as a pussy because I don't give a shit about a lot of stuff, mate. Like, I might get told this, might get taken advantage of here, there, and everywhere. Some things sting, but ultimately, there's so much of me that doesn't give a fuck, and knows I'm going to come out of it fine anyway. I just see them as the pettier person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
But everyone's like, well, look at him, and you don't, what the fuck?
That person's more bothered about my problems than I
Yeah,
am.
guess what, mate? Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't describe you as a pussy because I see some of the things you've fucking done and I would never do that.
Cheers.
There's been some interesting things, yeah. But yeah, I do get what you mean. I don't know.
Like, you could have a misunderstood, vulnerable side that not many people see. I have these chats with you, and some friends might not know that side of you exists. Some women might not know that side of you exists. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
If there's any of my ex-girlfriends watching this, then they're going to be thinking, well, I mean, I don't know how to think about that one because it was fucking ages ago.
Well, people are young, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was young, dumb, naive. And
Everyone overlooks
wanted
things
to
when you're
fuck.
young.
That's all I wanted to do was just fuck.
I wanted to bam.
Fuck, fight, get pissed, and just, yeah.
Yeah?
That was about it. I had no emotional intelligence whatsoever.
Yeah, you're just fucking monkeys when you're a kid, innit?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because people hold a certain perspective of perception of you.
Oh yeah, I know where you're at.
Sort of like back in the day, and I was actually, I don't know if you want to go into this, feel free to say no, but with your relationship, you two obviously had your thing before,
yeah,
and then you split for a considerable amount of time, and then you've gone back to it.
Yeah, 5
And
years we split.
Yeah, somebody. Fucking hell, really?
Yeah, it's been 5 years. So I was in a relationship with this girl when I was 21, and at 21 I had a insane experience. Yeah, hell, fuck it, guys. I had my awakening, like other people have theirs, but that was when shit like got dialed in. Like I was already locked in my mind mentally with how the world was, how it works, what people are not, and that is empathetic and giving. Like, what if who is the one that will give? It might be me, motherfucker. But then I did all of that shit because I've questioned every aspect. Like people that smoked, pussy. But then it's like, well, hang on a minute. What is going on? What's the underlying thing? Why is everyone fucked? What's everyone tripping over? I pulled myself up, but no one can pull anyone else up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Had the awakening. Boom, shit got cemented in even more. But I had to deal with that, and I couldn't process it for a long while. And having her there, now we've spoken about that. I speak to my parents about like the epiphanies, everything that has gone on. I'm open about with the people that are in my life, because that is how I want it to be. Ultimately, it'd be lovely to be like that online, but shit can go mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was a tangent. But what were we going on about?
Yeah, so basically, you were together for how long? 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years, 21.
Split up for 5 years.
Yeah, she didn't know what was going on in my mind. I was logical, rational as a man. She was emotional. Yada yada, it doesn't work. Shit was toxic. The sex was amazing. But it ain't right, is it? It ain't right, really.
Yeah.
So 5 years down the line, I fuck about, I test myself here, there, fuck up, change, learn, as you do. I'm 25, 26, meet up with her again, and there's calmness, there's clarity, there's a bigger light in her. She's more of a person than she was before. She's more of a woman in her body. I'm more of a man in mine. You know what I mean?
Which I think is a massive thing, because like I was saying earlier, people hold perceptions of you from the point, like, if I've not seen someone for 5 years, they know me 5 years ago, whereas they don't know me today.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of people in this town that hold a negative perception of me because of how I was when I was younger, because I acted irrationally. And I think what you two have done is a very, very, I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely a good thing. I think it's a very big and responsible thing to do, is to be able to push aside that perception, because it would be so easy for you to just go, I'm not getting with that fucking bitch, and her to say, I'm not getting with that dickhead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and to be able to like sort of put that to the side, have a conversation, and make something of it is amazing. I think.
Yeah. You're just a different person. Everything that you blocked and held behind a wall, you've addressed it. You've gone through it. You've held it. You've seen the pain. You're like, oh, that's that. I'll be able to hold that pain if I'm doing this. You hold it. You do the habits. Like you hold your mental fucking whatever, how you think. Live your life. Shit just comes, mate. I guess. She reached out to me though. I was just like, I'll be single. You know what I mean? I'll hermit it up.
Yeah, because that's quite fresh out of a relationship, wasn't it?
Yeah. Everything's always fresh out of relationship. It's like I'm not meant to be single, bro. Like these girls just keep coming at me.
That's getting clipped.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Mate, I was 17 to 26 now. I've probably had a year and a little bit single. That is it.
Yeah,
that is it.
That's not straight either. That's like a cumulative.
Yeah, that's like I'll have 3 months there. I'll have 6 months there. I'll have a few weeks there. Like, but I feel like I've still made it work. And I don't want. I have. Come on, mate. I've been a slag. I've fucked around shitloads. You know what I mean? Like I've done my shit, but
yeah, that shit gets boring very quickly.
Yeah, man. Of course it does. Just like driving your race car and shit. No matter what you do, it's gonna get boring. You buy that mansion, it's gonna get boring. Got to stimulate other shit. That's why I have these conversations. Anyway, another question or?
No, that's it. I think. Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, I guess that is it. We have rambled. We have changed the topic shitloads. I doubt many people have got this far, but if you have, I appreciate you. I thank you. I'm sure you appreciate them and thank them. It's been a bit deep. It's been opening. I hope.
Little bit about us though.
Yeah, it is. It is on a respect side. Like, man, we got some shit in us. We got some shit in us that we want to talk about, and as fucking hell, brother. Wait, what?
There's no space on memory card slot 1. How long has that been going for?
This. It's about to be 2.
Right, so it's missed like the last 10 minutes.
Alright, yeah, whatever. We can wrap it up some
Just
other
do-
way.
Outro or something.
If we've got no data or nothing, then it is what it is.
You've got no battery or memory in this right now.
Alright, well,
Right, basically, there's going to be no visuals for the last 10 minutes of this podcast. Some of it might get cut out anyway, but
I was going to say we could reshoot it.
I haven't got enough memory card with me. They're at home.
No, another day.
Put
Alright.
something else on the screen.
Yeah, we can just
still
put-
got the audio.
we can just put the thumbnail up.
Redo it. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So basically, last section, of last 10 minutes of this podcast isn't going to be video because the memory card ran out. We didn't realise. Our producers literally just walked in. But thank you for listening. You've heard us ramble on for about 2 fucking hours. Like, share, subscribe. Tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your friends. Don't tell your kids because we're bad influencers sometimes. Sometimes we're not, but it's a lot for them to hear. Bye bye, driver.